Yo, what is up, YouTube? Welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about the New York Rangers. In the background, I'm going to have some EASHL gameplay. I am the green icon, and in the red icon is some guy who I played with in drop-ins, and this is his club, and we just, he invited me to play. We played a few games here and there. But I'm just going to say before I talk about the Rangers, because this is a hockey talk, and that's what we're going to be talking about. This guy. We weren't even talking at a party. He just invites me, and it's like we have chemistry. But this guy just knows how to score goals. It's ridiculous. He scores like on every wrist shot. He just knows how to. He just has that one spot. It's crazy. So also another thing you could tell maybe later in the gameplay that right when I touch the puck a lot, I lag. And I even messaged the guy, said, "Yo, they have a lag switch." I'm sure they had a lag switch because he might even my club. We're in Division 3. I'm sure his club's in Division 1. So, just get all the background about the gameplay. This isn't a live comm, obviously. We're going to be talking about the New York Rangers. And I'm sure that a lot of my subscribers, that I'm a big Ranger fan, and when the Rangers got Fox, Kraftsoff, them, I didn't make any videos on it. So I'm going to talk about them now. And just talk about how... Are the Rangers going to be a wagon next year? Are they going to be a playoff team? It's crazy. This was possibly a 2-year retool? Their prospect pool went from probably like the second worst, I would say prior to the Hegel and Anderson draft, to probably top 5, I believe. It's ridiculous how Jeff Gordon made these deals and built this prospect pool up. It's crazy. So now we're going to talk about what seems to come with the Rangers. We're going to talk about each signing, each trade. What can we expect from it? So I guess we'll start with the first one, the Adam Fox trade. Carolina Hurricanes trade, probably one of the top defensive prospects behind Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. Defenseman Adam Fox from Harvard for 37th, was it 37th? I believe it was 37th second round pick in this year's draft, and a conditional third round pick in next year's draft, which turns into a second if and when Fox plays more than 30 games, which I'm pretty sure he will. I'm sure he'll be playing second top pairing, to be honest with you. It depends if they bring in any other defenseman. That's another thing I want to go through, like how the team could look. So who won this trade? I would say it's even. Like, Carolina knew Fox didn't want to sign with them, so they got basically two second-round picks for him. That's a good trade. And the Rangers got probably the best college. I would say I didn't really watch a lot of college hockey, but probably one of the best, probably the second best or the best college player behind Cale Makar. I think he has maybe better production than both of them. I think he played maybe more games, but had a lot more points, I believe. I got to look at his DB again, but what does Adam Fox mean for the Rangers? Because every time they get a right-hand defenseman, it's always like, oh, they finally got their guy. So they said about Shattenkirk. But with Adam Fox, he's just like an offensive beast. His stats are, I think his freshman year, he was even ridiculous because there was a lot of talk that he's an older player. He was a junior. That's why he killed it this year. But that's really, I don't believe that crap. But his freshman year, he had such a great collegiate career. So now coming on the Rangers, just another guy, another right-handed offensive defenseman that we have. We had Piak, we had Shattenkirk. I mean, we had this season Piak, Shattenkirk, D'Angelo, and I would say the only one that really played consistently and really showed up this year is D'Angelo. Shattenkirk has just been getting injured. He hasn't really lived up to his contract or his expectations here in New York. He's still good. I don't mind, but and also Piak, he has his he's labeled. They say he's an offensive defenseman, but it's just like that 200-foot game. You never know. But that's the same thing with Fox. You never know. See. So with Adam Fox, I believe he'll come in I mean, I don't really see him playing in Hartford to start off. I think they're gonna want to play him right away. Probably play first pairing with Shea or second pairing with like Libor Hayek, something like that. Depends on if they bring in other guys. I'll talk about those other guys because we're talking about the Rangers as a whole. And but this means that maybe Shattenkirk either can be traded. Same thing with Piak. Piak also needs to contract. And also, I think Brandon Smith and Mark Stahl are definitely the buyout candidates. But for Shattenkirk, I think if you're going to trade him, you have to retain 50% of his salary. I think it's like a 6.5 contract for him. So if you retain 50%, that's 3.2, 3.25. That's a pretty $3 million for Shattenkirk. That's a pretty good contract for, say, a contending team like the Maple Leafs. I'm just saying, a team like maybe Winnipeg, if they can't sign Jacob Trouba, who could possibly be a guy the Rangers could target via trade or maybe off a sheet. I don't know. So, like I said, I think it's a win-win for both teams. I'm excited to have Fox. He's from New York. Pretty sure he said he wanted to play in New York before. Everyone thought that. I think he knew everyone thought that. And so it's going to be exciting to see him play. Hopefully he comes in and could score, 30 points as a rookie. Or if he could hit that 40 point, maybe say a 10 goal, 25 assists, a 5 goals, 30 assists. Like Brady Shea came in at 39 points his rookie year. So if he could come in, hit that 30 point mark, that's just a step in the right direction for our defense. I would say developing that 200-foot game, because I haven't watched a lot of him. Like, I've seen the highlights. I haven't watched, like, the Harvard games. I haven't watched a lot of college hockey this year. So, I don't know how good his defensive game is. Well, we're just going to have to see. So, now after Adam Fox, the New York Rangers signed two of their top promising prospects, Vitaly Kravtsov to a 3-year entry-level contract, and Igor Shesterkin, the goaltender, for a 2-year entry-level deal because I think he is 24. He's a little older. So with Kravtsov, obviously a lot of people were disappointed. I was at the draft party last year, and a lot of people, including myself, wanted Oliver Wahlstrom because we saw a scoring beast right wing. But I even looked at other guys like Joel Farabee, other guys they could get because I didn't think they were going to go one of the. Maybe I kind of thought maybe they would go the defense, but I wasn't too sold on it. I didn't even see Kravtsov. I would have watched film on him, and if I did prior to, because he had a highlight tape before, I would have said, okay, he could have been a good option too. And obviously when we picked him over Wahlstrom, I wasn't disappointed. I was curious to see who he was because I didn't look into him that much prior to the draft. So after I looked, I saw he was 6'3" right wing. They said he was a playmaking, scoring guy. So I was like, all right, I think he has a chance to be special. And I think he had like 27 points in 50 games in the KHL. And they said if you're a 19-year-old playing at least one game in the KHL, that's a huge accomplishment because it's definitely hard. They say it's hard for a teenager playing. And his highlight tape, he's just so fast. It's crazy how quick he is. So it's going to be very exciting to watch him play. I hope he plays in the big club. There have been talks of saying it's not the worst thing that he starts in Hartford, but I feel like maybe with Kravtsov coming in, I think, and possibly Capo Caco too. I did make a video on that. Possibly him too. I think guys like Jimmy Vesey or Vladislav Nemeskov will find their way out of New York. Now moving on to Igor Shesterkin, the 4th-round pick in 2014 draft, who had a crazy KHL career. His numbers were insane. There were some talks maybe because he was on the best team and their team was stacked. This year they didn't even win the whole thing, and he still had a great year. So Igor Shesterkin seemed like the next for Lundqvist, but then Alexander Georgiev came. So what is Shesterkin's role next year? Well, obviously we're going to see him play in the preseason. Many people say he should start in Hartford to get used to the American game, which makes a lot of sense. Look at Georgiev. He started in Hartford, and they called him up as the backup, and he played well. Obviously, Georgiev has played well in his second season. Basically, not his second full season, but his rookie. This is technically his rookie year. He played well this year. He played great. Obviously, the Rangers didn't have such a good team, but just watching him, just like watching Elias Anderson. Look at Elias Anderson. He had 6 points in like 40 games this year, but he did a lot of good things. you just had to watch him, and he did a lot of good things. It's not like I don't think he made too much mistakes as a 19-year-old. I'm not going to call him a bust yet. I just don't think Elias Anderson has that. I just don't think he's going to turn out to be like. Look at Casey Middlestad. People said Casey Middlestad was going to be an offensive superstar. I think Middlestad finished with like 30 points, 20 points on the. He's still young. I'm just saying. I don't know if Anderson really has. I think Anderson, if when it's all said and done, will be. I'm hoping for this. Will be like a. I feel like he's just a Jesper Foss at center. He's a two-way player. He's got. I would say Elias Anderson is a lot more, probably more skilled than Jesper Foss. So it's just something like that with you. So actually, I kind of lost what I was talking about, but it seems like Igor Shesterkin will come in. I could see him playing, even if he plays well in preseason. I feel like they're still gonna go with Hank and Georgiev. Probably play Georgiev a lot more, and then maybe I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I don't think they're gonna want to get rid of Lundqvist. I don't think he's gonna even waive his no trade clause. They asked him if he wanted to leave, and he said no. So I don't think Lundqvist. I think he's gonna finish his career. The only thing is, I don't know if they'll re-sign him because it's this year and next year for Lundqvist in his contract, and maybe Georgiev is turned into a starting goalie, and maybe Shesterkin is killing the AHL, and he came up and played a few games in the big club, and we just don't know how that's gonna turn out. So it's gonna be definitely interesting. So next, I think a couple weeks went by, and the Rangers signed Yegor Rykov. So Yegor Rykov, Russian two-way defenseman, it seemed like. Great skater. Haven't watched a lot on him. Got him in the Grabner trade. He seems like a pretty good second pairing defenseman, it seemed like. That's what they're kind of... Actually, I really don't know. I haven't really heard much on Rykov. All the talk was if he was coming over. But with Rykov, I think he's got a 2-year contract, and he's got a European clause. I think that he could go back to the KHL, which I don't know if that means maybe if he doesn't make the Rangers, he'll go back to the KHL. Say he goes to Hartford, but I think with the defensive core, how it could look if the Rangers don't if they don't bring anybody new in, maybe they get rid of some guys. I'm just gonna say this is like my dream defenseman. Maybe it would be like Shea, Fox, maybe Hayek, D'Angelo, and then you could go maybe Lindgren, Rykov, or Lindgren, Shattenkirk, or Rykov, Shattenkirk, like something like that. Because you could, if you get rid of Stahl, get rid of Smith, I think they're at least gonna buy out one of them. Maybe they'll keep Stahl, because Stahl's been pretty good because Stahl's a defensive guy, Lindgren's a defensive guy, but Stahl's been pretty good. He hasn't been great. I'm not saying he's a top 4 defenseman, but he's not. He hasn't been as bad as you would think. So, I would think Brendan Smith he was god awful. I just had someone tell me, he was like, "Oh, Brendan Smith, he was playing offense." I forgot who. I'm like, it doesn't even matter. He sucked. Come on, man. He's a defense. We're paying him $4 million. But like, if you bring in a guy like maybe Jacob Trouba, who I just saw that the Jets were gonna maybe try to shop him because obviously don't have much cap. I think the Rangers definitely be involved. It's just that it's kind of like with your defense now. You want guys like Lindgren and Hayek and maybe Rykov to play. You don't want to say Elias Anderson or them on the fourth line. So yeah, that's my take on the defenseman. So a couple more minutes left in this video. I guess I'll touch upon a little bit about this Kakko Jack Hughes situation. Obviously, Kakko had a crazy Worlds. If the Devils take Kakko, which I still think they're going to take Hughes, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing because you could maybe take put Hughes on the wing, maybe go Hedl on the wing with Hughes, and you could have a center core of Zibanejad, Hughes, Howden, Anderson, or put Anderson on the wing. So it's definitely going to be yet again interesting season because obviously, and if we get Kakko, it will be perfect because you could slide him on the wing, and we'll have that center core. And if you have Kakko and Kravtsov coming, like I said, I think Nemestikov or at least one of them, Veazey will get traded. I think Strome would stay. Strome had a great second half of the season. But I think that's all. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, I actually have a quick question. I do have a blue Rangers a home jersey, and I need help picking who to get. So let me know.